This is the Let's Roll podcast with your host, Double R. What's up, everybody? It's your host, the Rolls the Most, Double R, and this is the Let's Roll podcast, and welcome to the Let's Roll Weekly Issue number 2 on 6/6/2022. Yeah, let's get into it, all right? Let's check out the stories, what we got coming up. Hey, we're going to talk about AEW news, particularly the MJF news. We got Top Gun on slate. We got more on the Uvalde shooting in Texas. We got Canada said, hold my beer when it comes to gun laws. Johnny Depp wins, Stranger Things, The Boys, Star Wars, and this and much more right after this. All right, guys, so what's going on? What's everybody been doing out there in the real world? Real world still going, still flowing. Man, COVID still out there, still doing damage. Stay safe, y'all. Take precautions. Do your thing. But let's talk about some of these stories. Let's get back over to the stories here. So our first news is AEW. That's All-Star Elite Wrestling. Particularly the wrestler MJF. And how he is very unhappy at AEW. And he wants to be paid more. He wants to be featured more. And he's kind of upset for a lot of different reasons. And I can't say I don't blame him, but hey, you signed a contract. You knew what it was. And you just are going to have to accept the fact that, you signed that deal. Then we also, along the same lines, we have WWE news in that there's a lot of things going on there, but Cody Rhodes got hurt, and he was scheduled for this past Sunday. He was scheduled for Hell in a Cell, and there was rumors going around he might not show up because he was injured, but he showed up, and he worked through an injury, had a big old nasty bruise all over his shoulder. I mean, it was bad. But anyway, he worked through it, had a good match with Seth Rollins. So, and then Naomi and Sasha Banks, they're suspended. And what's really weird about WWE right now is Roman Reigns, the undisputed champion, or whatever you want to call him. He has stepped back and doing fewer dates. So this particular pay-per-view only had one title match, and that was Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair and Asuka. That was the only title match, and it was for the Raw's Women's Champion, because the tag teams are unified now, and they are on the they're on the Usos tag team. They have both belts. So this particular premium live event or / AKA pay-per-view only had one championship on it, and it's just weird. They combined both tag team titles to one tag team, and they combined both major championships, the Universal and the World Championship, into one on Roman Reigns. And it just looks, I mean, storyline purposes, it's okay, but that limits the other wrestlers or superstars the ability to go after stuff. And I just find it really weird. So that's kind of wrestling news that I'm going to touch on right now. We got Top Gun, man. Top Gun Maverick, great movie, outstanding movie. You really need to go see it. The box office is crazy on this movie. It's not up there in the, say, marble um, echelon, but it's getting there, and it could easily get. Oh my God! Hey, this is live. Hang on, let her say it one more time.
Here's your reminder. Take Pavasta.
All right, sorry about that, guys, but this is live. This is that was my Alexa going off and reminding me to take medicine. So anyway, but Top Gun is really good, really awesome. Definitely go see it. You don't have to see the first one to go see this movie. It's a good movie, really good movie. Let's move on to the Uvalde, Texas mass shooting. Man, the police are under investigation for the lack of, I don't want to say response, because they responded, they got there, but they didn't go in. They didn't go in the building for almost an hour. And by then, all the 19 kids were killed, 2 teachers were killed, and the only person that stopped this shooter, which really didn't stop anything because he had already killed all these people, but he took the shooter out, was a off-duty border agent or border patrol agent. He was actually, from what I understand, was at home, saw it on the news, knew that his wife and his kids were at the school. He grabbed his shotgun, went to the school, got past all the police and authorities, went in, found his wife, got his kid out safely, then went back in and took the shooter out. Now, the police are under investigation because their story has changed several different times. And first they say that he shot and killed the shooter, and then in the same statement they said, then such shot and killed him. So how many times did you shoot and kill this dude? And it only take one to kill. So anyway, they're under investigation. There's a lot of questions that are not being answered. The police chief is not answering anything. He's somewhat in hiding. And then in that same week, he got elected to the city council. So they got a shit show going on down there. Pardon my French. But yeah, they got a real bad situation going on down there, and not a lot of answers going on. Now, so everybody in this country is all up in arms. Well, I'll say not everybody, but most people are up in arms over we need sensible, common sense gun reform in this country. And both sides of the political party are going back and forth. And, of course, one side is totally against any kind of reform, any kind of gun laws. At least that's the way they're coming across. And so Canada, up north, said, well, y'all can't get your guns all together and y'all can't come to an agreement? Well, hold our beer and let's show you how it's done. Canada has banned any sell, any handgun sales. You can't have handguns. There's a whole list, and I wish I would have wrote everything down, but there's a whole list of things that they're doing in Canada to control and limit guns in their country. And Canada's like, we'll get it done, and we'll show you how it's done. And Canada's not the only country in this world that has eliminated or reduced the ability to have guns. The only reason this country has a hard time doing this is because our founding fathers wrote a Constitution and the Second Amendment giving you the right to bear arms, which I will always argue it doesn't say exactly what guns you can have or can't have or, specifics. Because the same argument that the Supreme Court is making on abortion, saying nowhere does it say in the law Roe versus Wade, does it, or in the Constitution, in the Constitution, does it use the word abortion? Well, okay. If you're going to make that argument, then we can make the same argument when it comes to guns and say, well, nowhere does it say that you can bear this arm or that arm. It just says you can bear arms. And I make this kind of sarcastically, and I say that if you have 10 guns and I tell you that you can't have one of those guns, I still didn't take all your guns away, and you still have the right to bear the arms that you have. So, again, I don't want to get into a big old debate or argument, but when another country kind of shows you up and says, this is how it's done, this is how it can be done, and you're just hanging on to this Second Amendment right to bear arms, and you want to take it to the extreme, then I think I think that you need to, look at it differently and more common sense. That's all I'm saying. So Canada's done that. Man, let's get into this Johnny Depp, man. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard thing going on. They finally came to an end on that one, and Johnny Depp had the biggest victory. Amber did win one thing, but Johnny won majority of what he was suing for. And Amber Heard this the whole time. Now, I didn't watch it every day, hours and hours and hours. I just saw clips and different YouTube channels that were doing stuff on it. And I think that she didn't come across looking good. She looked really bad, and a lot of things were found untrue from her side, and that's why she lost majority of the case. She won one little thing, about $2 million. He won a $15 million total over two other different things. But since he has to pay her $2 million, so technically he got $13 million. So he won. That's in. That's done. Amber Heard did say that she wants to appeal it, and her lawyer and her are blaming the social media persuading the jurors and their decision. But how do you prove that? I mean, you can speculate that, but how do you really prove that? So we don't know where it's going to go from here. It did mess her up, though, as far as her ability or all the projects that she had. They are already supposedly, it's kind of up in the air if they really did this or not, but they supposedly limited her part in Aquaman, and so she's going to have a hard time getting particular projects and stuff. On the flip side, Johnny has come out looking better, and there's talks about him, even though the talk was he didn't want to be a part of Pirates anymore, but there is another side of it where they're wanting him back for Pirates. So we'll see. But he's in a better position now than he was going into this defamation. I think it's defamation case. And so he'll get better stuff. But I think he's on the downslope of his career, and even some of the things that are brought up in this case still kind of give him a bad look, but we'll see what happens, Sometimes we're quick to forgive and quick to cancel too, so it's kind of a balance. Let's talk about TV shows, man. Start off with Stranger Things. Good Lord, I can't talk. Stranger Things came out. I've already binged it, all 5 episodes, I believe. It was really good. Kind of creepy in some ways. It gave, I've seen it said online that it gave like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibe on certain episodes and stuff. Here's a funny little tidbit, because you know how I like to bring my disability into stuff, but I saw some comments on Facebook on the OI Foundation group page, where somebody made a comment asking if anybody had watched Stranger Things, and especially the very first episode, there's a scene. I'm pretty sure almost everybody watched it. I'm not really giving that much away here, but it is a spoiler. Um, there's a scene where the demon lifts uh, a, a character in the show, not a primary character, but just a character, and he goes to suck the life force out of her, if you want to call it that. But the way he does it, he starts twisting and popping and breaking bones and stuff. And the particular person on Facebook said, "Oh, that gives me, freaks me out and gives me flashbacks of breaking bones and stuff." It didn't really bother me that much. I would say that it happens like maybe 3 more times through the first part of the series, but really didn't bother me that much. Let's move on to The Boys, or actually, well, yeah, let's move on to The Boys. The Boys just came out this weekend, and I've watched the 3 episodes that they released. Good. It's a good show. I like it. I will say it's one of the weirdest shows that I've watched, and I don't know. It's just weird. There is one. The first episode has a theme in it, but good lord, it'll make me not want to. I don't know. You'll have to see it to understand what I mean. And I might touch on it after the series is, all the series is out, and then go back and kind of talk about it later. But yeah, The Boys came out. Then we have Star Wars. We have the Obi-Wan series. It's out, and I think we're up to 3 episodes, and I think the fourth one will come out this week. It is looking very well, looks good, really liked it. I will say this on Emmy, like Star Wars, Star Trek, those big IPs, when it comes to, and even comic books. I'm not deep into the lore on any of these. I pretty much watch the movies, like even all the superheroes. I mean, I watched the cartoons growing up, but I didn't read the comic books and all that, so I'm not deep into the lore. So when people start nitpicking, going, well, why they do this, why they do that, that part doesn't bother me. If it's entertaining, and I like it. So the one thing I will say about at least Star Wars is that when you go look at the original movies, and then you look at the prequel movies, and then you look at the sequel movies, and then all the things that are kind of in between as far as movies go, or TV and movies go, it does take me out of it just a little bit, because you don't have that same look of the original 3 that came out in the 70s. But granted, they were done in the 70s. Technology's gotten better. It won't have that cheesy look to it nowadays because you got all the computer stuff and blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. But that being said, all of these shows are entertaining. We got some shows going to come out later on. We got Miss Marvel coming out. And I think that's actually going to start. I don't know if it starts this week or next week, but Obi-Wan Kenobi will not end before the Marvel series starts. So it'll be like a little overlap. So you'll have Obi-Wan for maybe a couple episodes along with the start of Miss Marvel. So that's coming out. What else is going on in the world real quick? I think that's what I'm going to stick with right now, those topics for now. I will say this. Let me go back to, I think I have this set up right. Let's see. No, yeah, I do. Okay, hey. So if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you will see that we have set up a Streamlabs page for tips. If you want to send in a question or a topic that you want me to talk about or whatever, go to that link at the bottom. The link will also be in the description below of either the YouTube video or all of the episodes or newer podcast episodes will have the link in the description, and you can click on that. Give me a little bit of a tip and ask a question, and I will answer it on the Let's Roll Weekly episodes and videos. So something that y'all can do. But yeah, that being said, this weekend's my birthday. I put out an episode, or an episode will be released on the day of my birthday, which is next Monday. But this weekend is my party and my dinner, and so when I do next week's weekly, I will update you on what happened and what went down and all the good stuff, and if I had fun. Once again, thank you for checking me out and checking out this episode and stuff. Also, a quick note on the Anchor.fm page of our podcast, we are now accepting and encouraging you to become a subscriber to the podcast. And you can do that on Anchor, and you can also do that on Spotify. And it's only $1 a month. Right now, currently, we have last week's Let's Roll Weekly episode and all of the first season under subscription. So you would have the ability to go back and listen to those under that subscription. So what I plan on doing with the weekly or the Let's Roll Weekly episode is I'll let it run for a week, and after that week I'll put it under subscription. So it'll be only available for you to listen to for 1 week regularly. But I'm also going to put it out on video, and so you can check that out if you have the ability to video. And I will put it out on Anchor.fm and Spotify as a video and on YouTube. And then after that week's run, then it'll just be available for audio only. I think on all other platforms, it'll be an audio only. So you'll get all these, probably just an unedited version of this. At least that's what I'm planning on doing. Don't know how I'm totally going to do it yet, but you'll at least have an audio version for a week. That's what we're planning on doing with this episode. Now, the other episodes will be released on Thursday or any special occasion date. Like, for example, my birthday falls on Monday, so that episode's coming out on Monday. But let's say, like, Mother's Day was like on a Sunday, I believe. That episode came out on Sunday. So unless it's a special date for a special event, it's going to regular episodes of the Let's Roll podcast, which are topic-specific episodes. So in other words, we take one topic, or we have a guest, or something like that. We'll do on those type of episodes. Those drop on Thursday. Most of my episodes, except for the weekly, will be dropping at 6 a.m. The weekly drops normally, and I apologize for today that it didn't come out at 6, but it normally will come out at 6 p.m. The weekly episode will come out. With that being said, as always, until next time, let's roll.
Hey, this is T. Rich, and you listen to the Let's Roll podcast with Double R. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Find the links in the description below or at theletsrollpodcast.com.